Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming and staying. My name is David Chastain. I am the Libertarian Candidate for Secretary of State. By the way, I ran for State School Superintendent back in 2006, and if perchance you voted for me, I'll say thank you there. Now, why am I running for Secretary of State? I'm very concerned about the fact that our electronic voting in Georgia allows for almost 0.1% blank ballots, which is a no big deal in certain elections. But I personally have found that on single issue referendums, you can have a county referendum where as much as 3.5% of the ballots that go through are not counted correctly. The Diebold machines originally under the legislature was supposed to have paper trails. For whatever reason, a previous Secretary of State chose to purchase Diebold machines, electronic machines, that could not be audited. As a matter of fact, when you hear that votes are being recounted in Georgia, they are never recounted in Georgia. I want to restore the fact that in Georgia, if you're going to tell your children, your friends, that they need to vote because every vote counts, then I need you to elect me so that every vote gets counted. The Republicans, the Democrats, over the last 2 terms, have said when they ran that they were going to address this issue and have then chosen not to. You can learn more about this issue at chastain2010.com. You can email me. You can even call me. I would love to talk with you at length. I'll be glad to tell you about things that I learned on December 29th when I myself went into the state archives and audited 50 single-issue referendums. Those of you who know how to do your math, it seems to me that if you took all the electronic votes in the machine for a 1-issue referendum, you subtract out all the yeses and all the noes, the answer should be 0. In 50 referendums, 49 came out with an error. And then when I opened the file from one of our counties in North Georgia, I found out that 2 Diebold machines in two separate precincts had the documents altered by election officials, kind of like when you were young and you would balance your checkbook and make it go to 0 and then worry about it next month. All right, that's one thing. Recently, our Securities Commission has been reorganized. Coincidentally, it was reorganized after I made open records requests trying to find out what had been going on for the last 5 years with the Investor Protection Trust. This is grant money as a result of a lawsuit for the states that flowed into Georgia. This money comes in as grant money and then creates an opportunity for potential abuse by whoever is the Secretary of State. That Securities Commission has now been reorganized. People were laid off in Atlanta. They were told they could reapply for their jobs when the jobs moved to Macon. I can't tell you exactly what's going on in the Securities Commission, but the Secretary of State is your state Securities Commissioner. And I promise you that when elected, I will find a deputy that understands how to run the Securities Commission without the influence of party politics. Another thing that concerns me, as your Secretary of State, we're involved in all the different licensing boards. This is a very boring subject unless you're one of those people that's in the licensed profession and you've watched your licensing fees triple over the last several years. I need more help on this because I don't have all the facts, but what I've been told is Georgia has outsourced all of its licensing to 2 major corporations outside this state. Now, libertarians believe in privatizing and doing things that are more efficient that lowers the cost to the citizenry. We don't believe in doing things that raise the cost. How many of you gentlemen or women in here get a hunting license? All right? It used to be that a small business in Georgia could sell you a hunting license and a small commission, kind of like the lottery, went to that entrepreneur, the store where you purchased it. Am I correct? Now I am told this has all been outsourced and the cost of hunting licenses have gone up. I don't understand the point here. All I can tell you is this. I'm an analyst in the defense industry up in Cobb County. I'm not a full-time politician, although if you will Google or use your search engine, Libertarian David Chastain, you'll learn a lot about me, most of which I'm not ashamed of. All right? But let me tell you, we don't need entrepreneurs running state government. We need someone who understands processes, someone who understands accountability. I work in an environment where I can have an auditor show up and say, show me what you're working on and show me that you're charging for the right work order. I'm not talking about risking your tax money. I'm talking about bringing in processes and procedures that protect you from your government and protect your government from being abused by other entities. DavidChastain.com. We don't have a primary, but I'll be on the ballot on November 2nd, and I certainly would appreciate your vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to move